What's up, everyone? Peti Kish Hun here, coming to you with another video. Before we start this topic that we're going to be talking about today, I just want to bring this up, guys. So I just hit my largest view count on this channel on YouTube itself. I hit 2.2k views the last 3 days on my video about the game artist explaining about why the West depict women unappealing characters in games. I didn't know how big it's gonna get, but it got pretty big to the point where, you know, it was just crazy. My comments were blowing up. Everything was going crazy there. I am very thankful for it, but at the same time, I'm actually very surprised about it. And I saw the, the like and dislike ratio, and I see a lot of people agreeing with me. So that is definitely a positive. I thank you, everyone. And also all the people that subscribed to me recently or are following me. You guys are awesome. All these newcomers. I'm glad you guys are coming by and check out what I have to offer on this channel. There's a lot of content on here, and I'm very happy for it all. For all the people that, stick around and still watch my videos. I try my best and try what I can do and what I can work with. And then the people that really don't like my videos, there were some very spicy comments out there about, there is a lot of evidence of it happening, with the artist, the game artist that spoke about it, as well as someone in the game industry, a developer himself, coming out and saying about it. So there's a lot of evidences. It's not just me saying, but there's a lot of evidence to back it up. It's not like I pulled it out of my ass or something, the information. That's what I usually try to do. I'm gonna put my own opinion if I can, but I try to back it up with as much information as I can, because I'm not gonna bullshit things. I'm not bullshitting you guys. I appreciate all the likes. The likes were very stronger than the dislikes on the video itself. A lot of people have a lot of cognitive dissonance, which is definitely, I can see, it's the internet. You're not gonna please everyone about everything, but it is what it is. That's all I can say. But I really am thankful, guys. But I just wanted to put what I thought about the whole situation and what was going on. Any publicity is good publicity. Greatness from small beginnings, sic parvis magna, the motto I've been using for a while. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for that. But today we're going to go into a bit something different, but similar to that video. So this topic is going to be surrounding around recently on a podcast, the Halo music composer who's been doing the Halo series, and he's been doing other game music for a while now. I think his last one was Destiny. He went on the podcast to talk about DEI and what he thinks about the game industry, and how everything that is manipulated in the game industry about these companies coming in, there is a lot of fear going on in the industry itself. But let's just get into it. There's an article here I want to read you guys, and let's just see what it's really about. All right, guys, I'm on Bonding Into Comics. They had this article up here. It's a little bit later on. It's June 20th. Not too late, but I wanted to wait on it, see what else comes up about this topic. But now I think it's okay to talk about. So the article says, Halo series composer Marty O'Donnell says video game industry now pandering because they fear being on the wrong side of some special interest groups who can be very loud and very annoying. All right, so there's gonna be a lot here to take in, guys. Let's see what they have to say. In providing confirmation to one of the most widely assumed reason for the currently abysmal state of Western entertainment, original Halo series composer Marty O'Donnell has revealed that any and all such industries are currently living in fear of being on the wrong side of various special interest groups and their outrage mobs. There's a lot of people on the net that are loud and obnoxious, and yeah, a lot of pandering's going on here. A lot of trying to not offend people, trying to censor things. He's saying the entertainment on the West as a whole. So this is going to be interesting. O'Donnell, whose talents helped to provide the soundtrack to each one of the mainline Bungie-developed Halo titles, spoke to the phenomenon during a June 19th appearance on noted conservative commentator Andrew Chapato's Andrew Says podcast. Okay, so he was on this podcast. So this, you can find it on yourself. It's there. I'm not going to show you the video. I'm just going to read it. I don't want to get any strikes or anything on my channel. I don't want to really show it, but you can see it for yourself if you find it on the web, obviously, or on the internet. Halo theme creator Marty O'Donnell is running for Congress, Andrew says. Following a general discussion about the current political campaign to represent Nevada in the U.S. House of Representatives, O'Donnell was eventually pressed by Chapados for his thoughts on the topic of DEI in video games, with the host inquiring, when you were involved in games, was representation on anybody's mind? Was the amount of diversity, the amount of transgender characters in games ever a topic that anybody thought they should worry about? In turn, the esteemed composer affirmed, no, it wasn't. And go woke, go broke. We keep seeing that happen over and over again, said O'Donnell. DEI is not diversity, equality, and inclusion. It is a code word for essentially a Marxist worldview of power structures. There's so many catchwords that are being injected into the conversation. Colonization, decolonization, all these kinds of things. It is so far from what, especially in the entertainment business, what people should be worried about. Are you going to tell a good story? Are you going to make a good game? Are you going to do something that's compelling, emotional for people? That's fun for people. That's what creators should be concerned about. And I agree completely. A lot of these things he's talking about are just generic basic things. So he's talking about that DEI is not DEI. It's just another kind of fraud scam they trying to push. It has nothing to do about diversity, equality, inclusivity. It's nothing about that. We had these back in the day and it was normal. It was just normally put. We didn't check boxes off of what skin color you were, what sex you were, who you sleep with. We never had these kind of things. In the entertainment space, when I was growing up, I always saw this happen where everything was just naturally. It normally was diverse. It was naturally equality. There was natural inclusivity. It had all of it by itself. It wasn't pushed. But now, he's saying like, just tell good stories, good characters, good games, good movies, good TV shows, good books, good art. There you go. Everything. Like, why is this hard to do? Pushing back against the popular narrative that prior to the 2010s entertainment was composed solely of straight white people, he continued. We've had our share of, I guess I would have to say, diverse characters. But it wasn't because we need to make sure they were a certain percentage of, fill in the blank. It was because these were like either great actors or this was going to be a great character. Literally what I just said before is literally what he's saying now. We had awesome characters. It didn't matter of their skin color. It didn't matter what sex there were. It didn't matter in any way. They were just good characters, good developed characters, good stylized characters. It was never any part of what our discussion were about. Like, let's make sure we fill in the blanks so the game characters reflect perfectly the makeup of the society. The U.S. congressional candidate told Chapatos that is just such a creative, dampening way of approaching things, which is why I think the fans are rejecting this ideology. The fans don't necessarily reject movies or games because diversity or equality or inclusion kinds of things are forced into your face. Certainly, they don't like being preached to, but basically, these are not good products. At the end of the day, it's not fun to play if it's not interesting. These characters don't sound real. That's what ends up happening. People just don't like it. They're not good stories. They're not memorable. Yes, exactly. I agree. All these things that they're pushing now, all these reboots, remakes, there's no creativity no more. Where is the creativity? Just look at the Hollywood and the movie industry. Look how bad it is. Every movie that's coming out is bombing. There's barely movies that are actually succeeding in today's economy, or in just general people are just, they don't want to go to the movies no more. These new upcoming celebrities that are coming up, they don't have the star power like they had back in the day. There's no stars no more. There's barely anyone. And the only stars that actually hold sometimes these movies are like old actors coming back or doing something interesting, or just going back to the basics of what storytelling was, and like awesome characters, you know, just the basics. And people will come to the movies and watch that. You can watch it, you know, like on Netflix or Hulu, some of those movies. But I think movie theater experience was always felt more of a, like an event. It was special back in the day. And even before, you know, the coup happened during 2020 and all that, I still went to the movie theaters. But now these days, I just don't. Because these movies, literally, when I see a movie come out, I'm like, I would watch that, but I'm not going to the movie theaters to watch that. I'm not going to drive over there and I'm going to watch it, you know, and then see it and come back and have like a bad experience because I know the movie's going to be ass, you know? In general, I just say, I'll just wait until it comes to Netflix or Hulu or HBO Max or whatever. I'll just wait until then, because there's no point of going to the movie theaters no more. And even the young kids, they don't care. The kids growing up, do they care about going to the movies and watching these? Even the animated movies these days are really bad. Like, they're just generic and they're not like what they used to be, I think, because they were hand-drawn. They were fantastic in general. They had a lot of appeal to them. And now everything's just CGI 3D modeled and everything. And it feels like just copy and paste. Like, I've seen this same style again and again, and it's getting to the point where I'm like, I'm just tuned out, even from like an animation perspective. I don't even want to care to watch these cartoon movies no more. Even the live actions, like some of these live actions, it's just boring. And same with the gaming industry. You get the same kind of game come out every year. Just look at Call of Duty. The same game come out every year. Same first-person shooter. Nothing different whatsoever. They touch up a bit of things and they give you a little bit of new story, but barely anything. Barely anything. It's always the same shit tossed out again and again. And there's no creativity, no nothingness. It's just boring. You're boring! People are just rejecting this. The fans, even the normies, are rejecting this. They're rejecting these bad entertainment spaces. Further pressed by Chipotis as to why do these developers keep doing it, O'Donnell revealed that the answer to his question was irrelevant. Simply fear. I can't say for certain what's in everybody's mind, but I know when I was there, when I was on the board of directors at Bungie, when I talked to the higher-ups at Microsoft, there is a lot of fear, and the fear started creeping in. Explained the formal Bungie X. There is fear that you are going to essentially get on the wrong side of some special interest groups who can be very loud and very annoying. So let's placate those people. So I would say fear is probably one of the biggest things. For AAA, It's definitely up there. It's definitely up there. It's not good. Just look at Ubisoft. Have you seen what Ubisoft been saying constantly? You will not own games and you will be happy. That's what the CEO of Ubisoft said. Gamers need to get used to not owning games and being happy, so to subscribe to a service. And you would subscribe to it, and that's how you get the games, but you don't own the games. When CEO starts saying that, I think that's kind of like, whoa, I think I need to actually push back on this, or, you know, put a thinking cap on and realize, open my eyes a bit and be like, yeah, this doesn't sound consumer friendly. And it feels like they're ruining my hobby, my thing that I love to do, you know? So I don't think in my experience that these are deeply held beliefs, he further detailed. You have to understand that, especially in the big companies, the C-suite and the executives, all they are doing is looking at the bottom line. I honestly think a lot of these people are empty suits. They don't actually have core values. So they adopt the core values of the moment to make sure they are on the right side so they don't get any sort of backlash. And that's indictment against the kinds of people who end up running companies. O'Donnell clarified, but I rarely found people with strong moral character running the companies. They tend to just go the way the wind blows, and it's going to take them a little while to realize that this is actually not helping their bottom line. There might be a few true believers out there, but it's few and far between in my opinion. There are game devs out there that are really not for this, and they just are silent because they don't want to like lose their jobs or do something that pushes against this large narrative. But it seems like more people have come forward and have spoken their mind and spoken about what is going on in the entertainment business. The whole thing is always on fear, like fear tactics, obviously. People are pushing back on it. So it feels like it's not working no more. Venting his own frustrations on the matter, the musician declared, "It doesn't make sense. Almost nobody who ends up being at the top level of these entertainment companies actually ever made any entertainment." Yup. They're just empty suits, like he said. Come in, they want to see the results, the chart, the pie chart, the analytics, to see the lines go up, but they don't actually get in there and actually understand how to make a good product. They just see numbers and just see money, dollar signs, and that's it. But do they know how actually everything works? No, they don't. And that's why they're giving away really bad products. They're putting money into these really bad products that should be not even made because they're so bad. Most of these products come out, they're just mediocre, mid maybe sometimes, or just absolutely just horrendous. It's really rare when you find a piece of media these days that is actually like, you feel like this is brand new, feels really good, or just feels like something you've seen before, but just made better, today. They aren't actually directors. They're not artists. They're not musicians. They're not writers. They haven't created anything, he explained. They might have come from marketing or have an MBA or worked their way up through the production side of things where they're not really making things. They're just overseeing the production side. And so for some reason, I don't trust their judgment. They just don't have good judgment when it comes to this. And they have a lot of fear. So I would say fear is the big driving factor here. He's completely right. Next, asked by Chapotis whether he could personally remember any instances in which a given industry executive forced a game to conform to the dominant narrative. O'Donnell informed his host, "I started seeing it a little bit even during Halo 2, which goes back quite a ways. We were making Halo 2 in 2002 and 2003, which was close enough after 9/11. And if you know the story of Halo, it's about this group of religious zealots that essentially will commit self-deletion to keep their religion going." The composer recalled that's the character we had for the Covenant. That started making Microsoft a little bit nervous because they felt like there could be some backlash from the Muslim community in the Middle East, that maybe this could be seen as Islamophobic. So all of the sudden, we were being asked to be very careful about some names of people or references or phrases and things like that. So I started seeing that and I thought, well, that's not necessarily unreasonable, because we weren't trying to do some sort of allegory about the political situation in the world and had to do with Jill Andius and all the rest of it. It's pretty much censorship. So they were very sensitive about the matter, and they wanted to change some things in Halo to not represent during that time what was going on in the world. Does it bother me? No. I think in 2002 and 2003, I didn't think it would bother a lot of people, but I guess maybe some people would have gotten offended. But the internet was so new, it didn't really have social media or anything to really, besides like maybe emails and stuff. But it wasn't like as big as it is now. I don't think no one really would have gotten offended. I think creators should do whatever they want to do and put it out there, no matter what it is. Just do it. I don't like the censorship thing. No, sir. Providing an example of just what changes Microsoft ordered of Bungie, O'Donnell noted, "Maybe you know this story, but one of our main characters, the Arbiter, was not originally named the Arbiter. During the whole time we were making Halo 2, the character's name was the Dervish. We had recorded all the voice. I had directed all the actors, and everybody was using the team Dervish. And then we found out, oh, this could be seen as an insult because there are Islamic religions figure known as Dervishius. So we had to change it." He ultimately admitted, "We were forced to change that name to a different name, so we came up with the Arbiter. I was never really happy about it. I thought this is an artistic choice. This is what we had from the beginning. We were not trying to make any sort of political or religious comment. We had tons of religious imagery. The Ark, Halo, the Covenant, all of these things are sort of imbued with religious terminology. So I didn't see why the Dervish was a problem. But we were forced to change that. I could see that the bigger the product, the more fingers would be in the pie trying to mess with things. I would have been fine with the first name too. It's not a big deal. Again, it's just sensitive people and censorship. Making a slight but relevant deviation from his main topic, O'Donnell then noted that, by the way, if your plot line deals with an evil white person or an evil corporation, you're fine. Like evil white guy, especially men, and evil corporations, no problem, he told Chapotis. You will never get pushback, and that's been around forever. And you can also be like, yeah, let's make the Christians hypercritic and bad people. That's easy. So that's been a thing for like forever. Yeah, there's a lot of double standards here, for sure. Pretty much matches everything that's going on with the entertainment industry today. Finally, bringing his thoughts on the topic to a close, O'Donnell ultimately noted, it's going to be a while for this tide to pass through and maybe withdraw, and we get back to, hey, let's let entertainment people and creative people make what they want to make. And if you don't like it, don't buy it. But the thought police that is happening in the world is completely insane right now. And I agree. It's literally a clown world out there. The things I see online of people doing, it's insane. There's a lot of clowning around. It is very insane for sure. This is all there. I'm just seeing it through this article. I read it and I wanted to just bring it up in this video. And I think, yeah, a lot of things are adding up here. So it makes a lot of sense in the long run of what's going on. But overall, guys, what do you think about this whole situation? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, I thank you so much for watching this long. And if you didn't like this video, I still thank you so much for watching it this long. Don't forget to like, follow, sub, all the things on this channel as you go out. I appreciate you guys very much for coming and watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.